You're in the right place. It's Bill.
It was an eye-opener to see him up there, really. He was good, and he had a passion for it, and you know, when somebody has a passion for something, you hope that he'll follow it. And we couldn't stop him. I would have stopped him if I could have, because I could not believe that he could do anything with it.
I love my job. It's the greatest job in the world for one very simple reason, and it's not the sharing of laughter and all that horse shit. It's the fact that I don't have a boss. Every job I ever had with a boss, man, always harassed, you know. Hicks, how come you're not working? I go, there's nothing to do. Well, you pretend like you're working. Well, why don't you pretend I'm working?
It's amazing to us 15 years later that Bill resonates so much around the world, and more so even than when he was alive. And it's just amazing. We did not see this coming. I don't think Bill ever foresaw anything like this at all. It's very gratifying. But what we miss is Bill.
How many non-smokers are here tonight? Non-smokers. By round of applause. Let's hear non-smokers. Good.
He was addressing larger concerns, which are still the concerns of people today. So he spoke to a deeper sense of injustice and righteousness that people have innately, but sometimes the mainstream media doesn't reflect that opinion, and he saw it as his job to go out and try and tell people that they weren't alone.
I guess the most amazing thing about the war, obviously the disparity in the casualties. Iraq, 150,000 casualties. USA, 79. Let's go through those numbers again. They're a little baffling at first glance. Iraq, 150,000. USA, 79. 79. 79. Does that mean if we had sent over 80 guys, we still would have won that fucking thing, or what?
He never wrote anything down, about his comedy. He kept journals, but that was more about his life. But as far as his comedy, he wasn't taking notes. But what I enjoyed watching about him is that, let's say his gig in a club started on a Tuesday night and ran to a Saturday night. On Tuesday, maybe he just had a throwaway line about something. I don't know what, but he got a little bit of a laugh. Well, by Saturday night, he might have developed that into a 15-minute bit that might have gone on to become one of his most staple, well-known bits.
I'm eating, I'm alone, and I'm reading a book. Waitress walks over to me. Hey, what you reading for? Is that like the weirdest question ever? I have never, ever been asked that. You know what I mean? What are you reading? Oh, okay. But what are you reading for?
He actually called me at my house one night, and we were just talking, and he was telling me the story about having gone to a Waffle House, and he was eating, and it was after the show, and he did that a lot, and he was on the road by himself, and someone came up and asked him what he was reading for, and he said it was just a conversation just like this, and he said, wasn't that the strangest question? They didn't care what I was reading, but what was I reading for? And I said, yeah, that's pretty weird. And I said, well, what did you tell them? And he said, well, I didn't know what to say. I was just kind of speechless. So that was the end of that conversation. Well, some time went by. I don't remember how much time. And he was going to be on the Letterman show. And he called me up, and he said, make sure and watch me tonight. That was the night he debuted that joke, and it got a huge laugh.
The interesting thing about Bill was that Bill was very serious. Now, my other son, you met, was always funnier than Bill. Bill was always very serious. He was very compassionate. He was a sweet boy, and I don't mean he was sweet. He was a sweet boy. He wasn't funny.
A lot of Christians wear crosses around their necks. Do you think when Jesus comes back, he ever wants to see a fucking cross? It's kind of like going up to Jackie Onassis with a little sniper rifle pendant, you know. Hey, Jackie, just thinking of John. We loved him. love this. It's great.
You have Hicks and George Carlin, I would say, actually is, in terms of heroes of political comedy, they are heroes, people who were prepared to go out there and also with Hicks, what a lot of people forget or might not even know is when he was playing the Midwest, man, the guy was dying all the time. They hated him, but he didn't care, and that's I think the older I've got, the more I've tried to get rid of that. I want them to love me and just think this is what I do. And so, and this is what and that's what he did at a very early age, something which I think very few comics, when he started as a teenager, and, he went out in clubs and this is what he did. And he didn't at any point just go, I better change it because I want the audience to like me more.
These three rednecks met me after the show. Hey, buddy, come here. Hey, Mr. Comedian, come here. Yeah, I love that move. Come here. Not a physics major. I mean, that's a safe bet. Mr. Funnyman, come here. Hey, buddy, we're Christians. We don't like what you said. I said, then forgive me.